get you out. But some of the ones here are the ice, where these big flows, and then they just disappear under the ice. It's like seeing a Grand Canyon get formed at a very fast scale. Like, basically, this is going to turn into a little oxbow river and eventually just cut a hole through, and you're going to have a standing tower. Basically, within a month, for sure, that'll just wear a hole right through. And a lot of, like, I was just saying with Holly here, that a lot of these tiny little streams, whichever one becomes a main channel, within 2 to 3 months, they can end up being like a 10 to 12 foot deep canyon. So, and then sometimes even the biggest streams, you'll be walking up one day and all of a sudden there won't be any water in this one anymore. And you'll wonder what happened, and further upstream somewhere we'll have worn a new path and you end up with a big open canyon that you can walk down. So, yeah, just rapid geological change. So at one point, that was a waterfall spilling over into that spot, and then all that sediment accumulates at the bottom of the waterfall, and then when the water changed course, it leaves that big section of sediment, and as the ice melts around it, it stays insulated and it ends up as a cone. It's a lot of times people wonder, how did the piles of dirt happen? But there's actually only about an inch of dirt over top of a cone of ice.
Make sure you follow home.
Right on. Thanks, have a nice. But we don't let people do any mountaineering type of thing. It'd be like us in full control if you wanted. Almost all of these grooves that we see in the ice running downhill, at one time or not, they were a water channel. And then whichever, one becomes a main channel, like this one here is starting to become a big main channel. Eventually it's going to get big, and it's going to make it really hard to cross the glacier horizontally. And as we get up kind of where the buses park, where even that group is, the ice is actually very broken with big moulins and big canyons that you can't really even see from far back. But actually where they're standing, there's a lot of big holes. So we're going to cut across, and then we're going to follow. There's a big crack that runs up the ice. It's pretty neat.
Is it safe to cross?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Typically, like if it was, there's no way that this would pull across this. You have to do a lot more water with pine needles in the ice. And last summer there was a forest fire on the other side of the ice field in the Bush River Valley, and it was blowing smoke and ash over onto the bushes. And there's a lot of smoke here, but there's actually, these are pine needles from when the fire was blowing up really big and just sending ash plumes. And this whole, because we always have like a downflow wind, it was like standing in a chimney for about a week. Yeah, the smoke was so thick you'd hardly see the parking lot down there. So we have a mix of ash on the ice as well as the sand and sediment. But the rain really washed a lot of the upper parts of the ribs very clean. This is probably a good spot. I'll do the demo with the pyranometer. We have 4 different stakes on the ice that we typically take the readings at. And there's one on the far bottom corner that we used to walk by all the time because we'd come on the ice that way. And then there's one on the other side of the big canyon that we walked along. And I can't get to that one anymore. And then we have another one way up the glacier that we'll likely go and see. But let's do a quick demo with this. So it measures the watts per meter squared. And if you can kind of see the sun there through the clouds without staring at it, but if I point this directly towards the sun, I get 310 watts per meter squared. That's direct solar. And then to measure the reflection, which usually at all 4 stakes we take a reading, and that's 96. So it's almost reflecting out 30%, which is really good. And that's because of the clean ice. Now, if we were on sandier ice over here, that number dropped right away to 85. So, the dirtier the ice is, the more it's absorbing that sun's heat. When we walk by those little bits of gravel and sand, that's because the sun's energy has been hitting it, warming it up, and it's just melting into the ice like a little torpedo. Yeah. Just absorb tons of heat. Whereas, like, you see people, if you're in the desert, a lot of people want to wear white because the white reflects the heat off of them. crevasse. And then the reason why it's closed up, so if we look up towards, there's a big, we call it, oh yeah. So there's this, we call it the ice fall, where there's big shards of ice. They call it seracs. And across there, there's tons of crevasses. And the reason why is underneath that ice, there's a big convex roll of rock. So as the ice is flowing over that convex roll, it stretches and breaks the surface ice open. And you get these huge crevasses running across. But right at the bottom of the ice fall, there's actually a lake underneath the ice there. So there's a really deep concave feature. So it's right at the bottom of that ice fall. All that ice comes over, it hits the concave feature, and it just tightens all those cracks, and they close up. They're basically floating, and the lake has kind of taken the tension out of the ice, and it's pressed it, and then we end up with these cracks that were one time crevasse. So it's at right about the bottom of the ice fall, there's about 120 meters of ice, and underneath there's a lake that's between 30 to 50 meters deep. And I was out there like 5 years ago when there was a glaciologist team from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and they were there drilling in the ice, and they were the ones who told me about it. They were like, hey, there's actually a lake here underneath the ice.
Underneath.
So I figure that when this all melts back, there will be a pretty big lake back there. I don't know in particular where it would exactly start, but all the ground underneath us from the pond that we crossed is actually flat, all the way into the back. So basically, as high up as we climb, that's how thick the ice is.
But wait, how do they know it's flat all the way back? Just from drilling?
I think sonar or however they've mapped it. Yeah.
Wow.
So we know that for a fact. And with that lake at the back, it's another reason why this glacier is so easy to walk on, because most glaciers anywhere in the world, that if you had an ice fall like that, very aggressive ice, without that deep concave feature, a lot of those crevasses would just keep moving down with the ice, and we would need ladders and all sorts of things to walk around out here, but we're able to just walk casually. Yeah, very, very unique glacier.
So it's further than the sonar, is that how they control?
Well, we don't know that 100% where it's closed or open. Yeah, but they can see the ground cover at the base of the ice with sonar, or whatever LiDAR I think is used as well.
Jackson is telling you.
Vast, big hole. You can, hold my hand and take a picture. This one's pretty safe because we got a lamp. And then, so this.
That's great bars right there.
That's all steel.
That's got amazing bars.
Pretty wild. So this is running. Yeah.
Stay right here.
Who knows where it goes, but it goes somewhere. Make sure we don't trip on that thing. Yeah. The big holes down there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So that's one where you just like no clue where it goes and how far.
No clue. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is this just a crevasse or is this
This would be Millwell.
Millwell?
It was,
Okay.
yeah, created a worn canyon in the water. That water up there.
Uh-huh.
And it's eventually just wore a groove and it's running way down underneath us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Check this out. Come here.
That's an example of how that snow bridges the crevasses.
Jackson, Sally, come here.
Snow, so that's snow you could easily fall through, and that's just covering the hole.
Still not. Come back, Ryan.
Yeah, it was all just water at one time wearing the canyon through. And then this right here is an example of that waterfall. So this was all at one time just a big deposit zone, and all this sediment, settled in the low point. And now when this all melts away, and you look at this ice here, this is only like 4 or 5 feet. A lot of this ice that you're standing on all the way down to here, it'll probably be gone by the end of summer. We'll easily lose another meter and plus. Yeah, so, and then this will end up as one of those big cones that's going to be standing up.
It's kind of interesting walking across some of these.
Get away from the edge.
Yeah, you just see the change at such a rapid rate.
How do you guys avoid the snow and stuff in the early parts of the season?
Trained eye, probing.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, we know if you're not on ice like this, that you probably shouldn't be walking there. And then our rule of thumb for guiding on a glacier is if you're going to walk around with no rope on, you need to have a very high familiarity with the glacier.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you need 10 feet of snow to travel around without a rope on. Is the general rule of thumb. 3 meters or more. But then, if you're in a complex place and you're unaware, no matter how much snow you're supposed to be wearing. Yeah, it's very easy. Even really, it would take 1.5 foot or maybe a bit more snow out here with wind blowing down the glacier, and it would completely fill this in. It would be just like icing sugar sifted over, maybe like that thick.
You wouldn't be able
And
to
you'd
see
be
it.
walking along, everything looked perfectly flat, and just
Yikes.
that's a pretty hazardous environment when, especially when it's snow covered. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll walk up the river and
Is that how we go
go
first?
exploring.
Go next. Jackson and Stelly, turn around. Quick. Jackson, look. Okay, go. Jackson, go to the right.
almost like a spring. The water is actually just coming up from the bottom from some sort of pressure. It's a deep pool. There's probably all that water just going underneath and creating a huge cavern. Yeah.
Wow.
I'd walk way down in the gully. It's easier. That's where I was. Yeah. Less chance of slipping. And that water, like, you can see that. Yeah. No hazard.
Jackson, stay back a little bit behind Holly, okay? Jackson. He walked in there.
To where I'm standing and go like that.
Around this way?
Sure.
Okay. Because you just made that hole right there, right?
He said with the selfies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's that.
And you try to, you swing down into there, right?
Yeah.
Can't really see.
You can get closer.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
I appreciate it. I do want to do that, but
Yeah. Self-preservation.
correct.
It's a good instinct.
We'll be able to see what that was. I mean, I did want to go below the ice today, but I like the established holes, not the brand new ones.
Yeah. There's a really interesting one that we can walk.
That's no snow. Alright, Jackson, still if you're really close attention.
ago, these were just the size of like grapes. The way is that we walk up to the top of it. And you'll be able to take, you can look from there.
Jackson.
Even if you just walk in here, I'll just give everyone a hand and pull you up.
They're not all.
As long as they don't go in there.
Jackson, just wait right there, bud. You can look down a little bit, okay?
Be very careful.
Wow.
Now, that one, if you fell in, I'd be able to rescue you. Under running water, you're not going to get washed away, but you're going to be hurt.
Yeah. That's a no-no hole.
That's a no-no still. But,
Thank you.
yeah. But you can definitely...
That actually gets me back.
That was the easier option right there. What do you think about that, guys? Yeah, stay to the right, okay? Not sure. I'll have to check.
You want to do yours?
Yes. Oh wait, Devin's on the back.
Go ahead and hold it. Get him on there.
You have to change your gloves out, obviously. Very cool. What do you get? Take a sip.
Already did.
Oh, cool.
Say it to
Yeah, go ahead. No. Oh, go ahead, honey. Yep.
Take a drink.
Oh, that's good, but it's cold.
You ready, Jackson? Your turn.
Mine.
Food.
Ready, Jackson? You want me to hold your pole?
Wow. Where's the other bottle?
I'll get it. Holly's turn. We'll fill it all the way up though. Let Holly go first. I know, there's no flattering way to do it. There's no flattering way.